Kaitlin, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. So happy to have you either way, and so happy to have you for today's video, which is going to be a quintessential monthly plan with me. I do these every single month, but this one is a little special because this is my first monthly plan with me in my traveler's notebook. I moved into this guy in the month of February, around the end of February, and I've been in it ever since and absolutely loving it. Before I jump into the plan with me, I thought I'd give you a bit of a progress update on how the setup is going. I'm very slowly decorating this notebook while still keeping it really minimal and simple because that's just kind of what works for me. But I thought I would show you a little peek at how it's looking so far. It's not finished, but it's almost finished, and once it is finished, I'll make sure to put up a final setup video showing you guys all of the decorations I use, as well as how I actually assemble the notebooks and all that stuff, so we get the full moment, the full picture, if you will. But enough about all the decoration, let's actually get into the plan with me itself. Because this is my first setup in my traveler's notebook, I'm going to talk you through a couple of the spreads that I decided to move in here from my monthly logs and how I set them up with the standard size notebook, since this type of insert is a lot more long and narrow compared to your average A5 or B6 insert. So that's what I'm going to touch on today, and let's just jump right into it and start with the first spread that I'm setting up, which is my monthly cover page. I've been doing cover pages ever since August of 2020, I believe, and when I used to make these, I would do a quote across 2 pages in a spread, but because the traveler's notebook is a little more narrow, I thought that doing the quote on the right-hand page would look a little better and it would be a little easier to do with my mono drawing pen, which I'm using instead of a brush pen. For my quote pages every month, I really like to pick a quote that is a little insightful and provides a little bit of wisdom that has me in a kind of reflective state at the beginning of the month. So I decided this month to include a quote by Emily Dickinson, and it says, "Forever is composed of nows." And I picked this quote for 2 reasons. 1, I really liked it, but 2, it was really short, which is really important for these quote pages because you don't have too much room vertically. So if I did a really big quote, it'd be kind of hard to fit it in with the lettering. So having a super short quote like this works really well on this spread. After I lettered the quote with a 0.1 fine liner, I went in with some number stamps and stamped 04 to represent April since it's the 4th month of the year. Moving on to the next page, I decided to create a vertical calendar for my monthly calendar in this setup. I decided to make this calendar really simple and only take up the right side of the page while leaving the left side blank. So I had lots of white space because that's just something I really love and helps me kind of focus in on the main details, which is all of the events and appointments that I was going to say have going on, but I probably don't have going on because we are still kind of in lockdown here in Toronto. But, you know, that doesn't matter. We still have to have a little bit of hope, and setting up a calendar is a great way to establish that, at least I think so. So for my vertical calendar, what I'm doing is I'm taking my 0.1 fine liner again and drawing a line along the vertical side of the page. This is going to help divide up the dates as well as the weekdays. And what I mean by this is on the left side of the line, I write the date of the month, 1 through 30, and then on the right side, I write the day of the week that day of the month corresponds to. Man, that is a mouthful. But that's essentially what I do, and that is kind of the basis of my vertical calendar. This is very similar to the original vertical calendar, which is demonstrated by Ryder Carroll in the bullet journal method. But I've always found this calendar has worked really well for me, and I really like the way it kind of visualizes the month. So that's why I always keep sticking with it. Because the standard insert paper size is so much longer than a B6 notebook, or I think it's actually the same length as an A5 notebook, I'm able to put a title at the top of my vertical calendar, which is something that was really exciting for me because in my B6 notebook I couldn't do that because the insert was too short. So I just decided to go in and use my stamps to stamp APR, which is an abbreviation for April. actually forgot to do something on this calendar, but I do go back at the end of the plan with me and add that in. So stay tuned for that to see the fully completed spread. But before I go back to that, I have to do all my other spreads first. And the next one I am setting up is my monthly task list. I really like to have a very specific layout for my monthly task list because while I want to be able to brainstorm all the things I have to do, I want to be able to do it in a way that kind of structures my month, and I'm able to kind of start thinking about when I want to schedule things in advance, so I don't just have a bunch of tasks sitting there that I forget about until the last week of the month, and then I'm rushing to finish everything because my short-term memory kicked in and I forgot about everything. So I found a great way to go against my short-term memory is to create an Alastair method task list. Essentially what this is it's a column task list where you have one column for every week of the month, and essentially instead of just making a bullet in one column, you put the bullet for your task in the column of the week you want to do that task. So for example, if I wanted to clean my closet on the week of March 5th, I would put that bullet under the 5 column that says 5 at the top, and then I would go ahead and write the name of the task. And then when I'm referencing my task list, I'm able to see what tasks I want to do the first week of the month, the second week of the month, etc., etc., so I don't just leave them until the end. So that's a lowdown on what I like to do for my task list, and while keeping track of all the things I have to do is important, I also need to keep track of all the things I have due, as in due dates, because I am a grad school student. So that is where this page comes in. This is a kind of double page. The first half at the top is a spot for me to record my due dates for both grad school as well as video due dates for this YouTube channel. I am definitely going to be using this a lot this month because April is when I have all my final assignments due, and they are all due in the same 2 weeks, so I really got to make sure that I am on track of those because it's going to be a wild time. And then on the bottom half of this page, because I don't have that many due dates, fortunately, I'm able to use the bottom half to have a little spot to track the 4 habits that I really want to keep an eye on for April. Last month, I kept track of the habits working out, reading, outdoor time, as well as cooking, and I actually really liked tracking all of those. This month, I decided to just write working out, reading, cooking, and then I left the 4th one blank in case I wanted to try a different habit this month. Since I'm making this like halfway through March, I don't really know exactly what habits I want to do for April yet, so that's why I'm giving myself the option with one blank tracker. Although it's tedious, I really like drawing these open circles for each day of the month that I can fill in when I do the habit, because I find having the circles there motivates me to actually fill it in, and it helps me to remember to actually do it. So although it's a little tedious to set up, it is worth it for me, because I've tried to do it without drawing the circles in advance, and I totally forgot to fill out my habit tracker. So clearly, this is a part of what stimulates me to do the habit, so I might as well just go with it. And after that spread is done, I am flipping back. Remember when I told you I wasn't done my vertical calendar? Well, this is when I realized that I wasn't done my vertical calendar. So we are jumping back, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a pencil and drawing a line between the Sunday and Monday of the weeks so I can structure my weeks and see what's going on every week of the month. So with that out of the way, we have come to the final flip through of this April Plan With Me. I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing my setup for this month. I had a great time doing it and stamping and listening to music and just chilling with my journal. It was a great time, and I hope that you have a great time setting up your own journal for the month. Feel free to let me know below what you are doing to get ready for April. I hope you all have a productive and peaceful month coming up ahead, and I hope you are all safe. And besides that, thank you so much for watching today's video. Again, I hope you are all doing well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.